Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. This is Martin with another day, another down day that we've seen with the US Dow Jones, as we saw the statement that was made by the federal chairman continue to put a lot of pressure in this market. And right now, the Dow Jones futures has broken below the 200-day moving average, and that seems to be pointing more downside to come as the rate hikes still pretty much on the plate for the American market in here. Things are not looking good as many of those punters out there are continuing to talk about the recession likely to face in US, but I still very optimistic depending on the figures that is coming for this coming month, another 3 or 4 more days on the inflation figure. Should the inflation figure be tamed down, then likelihood this market may see some sort of a support. But right now, what we are seeing in here in this morning breakfast show is still pointing a lot on the downside. So what can we investors do? Well, I'm going to give you a couple of ideas in here, and just stay on and we will get something out of the way. Now, this morning, of course, what we'll be talking is likely to be on the downtrend of what we see for the KLCI, what's likely to next. Now, many of you have seen before, almost every Friday I talk about ever since the appearance of the red pentagon and how the market continued to fall down in here. Even some of the stocks that we have picked started to not make up, and we have to make decision to exit even earlier in there. So one of the things that, as I said before, during this market, it's also a good time when the KLCI is not green pentagon, especially when the red, you can actually stay out. And if you do want to trade some of this intraday trade, which I'll share with you, you need to be very fast. When you have a little bit of profit, you need to take them, and this is pretty much what the market is showing in here. And VSA 360 can allow you to see some of those. For those of you who want to try it out, definitely you can sign up for a free trial in here at the number 0102669761. And thank you for coming for our very loyal audience in here, and thank you for supporting and give us a thumbs up, and we'll continue to be motivated to get this show out of the way. Of course, the VSA 360 will be our intraday alert, and right now for the January, one of our January release is the insider buy and sell guide, which I'll do share you on the end half of this presentation this morning in here. Now let's look at the VSA 360 this morning. What we are seeing, 5 things you need to know. Definitely what we have seen, the US Dow Jones has turned green pentagon, but I think last night with the breakdown, we may see this turning red too. It did turn green pentagon early on because of the optimistic that the federal chairman's statement that we're making will be a bit more dovish, but instead it actually turned on the other way. Right now, you can see the KLCI is really selling off in here. Red pentagon, the STI is red, right, and also the Hong Kong market should be it's up already, right. So here you can see this market continue to break down. I'm going to show you with the chart down in here, but let's take a look at the Bursa, and this is pretty much a tall tale what's really happening here with the interest rate likely to be hiked up. A lot of the funds are actually moving back into US. You can see this was minus 58, minus 56. In the same time, we saw this month in February, okay, the month in February, when we have just 2 occasional buy and then the market in here. But since then, a lot of net outflow has gone out, and you can see why this market is likely to move lower before it can move higher. All right, so keep that in mind. So on the other Bursa sector that we see here, we got constructions, we got utilities, property. Those are the one that is extremely positive. You can see KLCI right there. The technology has some green pentagon. We can turn on to this one here. So right now you can see it's pretty much half even. The KLCI turning. There are still some like construction just turned green pentagon, but this is it's still a very nice trend you can see here, right? You can see, but yesterday we have a sell-off in here. So let's take a look at those with the green pentagon. We got construction, energy, but they are still registering finance. Okay, finance has turned, but even as much as it wanted to turn up, but the weakness is coming in here. And you have plantation, properties, telecom, right? And the other more global oriented export is having a lot of difficulty. These are all local, like plantation been positive for 35 days, but when you try to break higher, you can see at 7,000 market actually break down for the plantation stocks. So that means a lot of these are facing strong resistance from in here, right? So that's just a good snapshot of where the market is heading in here. The KLCI, if you look from our monthly seasonal return, is still on the negative. We'll just wait for this to come out, and you can see right now it's down 3% in here. Very pessimistic outlook. I do know we've been down last year about 3.4%. I think there's a further more road to down as we come up to the month of April and May. Remember, sell in May and go away. That's a lot of pressure coming in. But if we do have a bad month for month of March, which is another 20 more days to closing, then April might see a rebound back as we see this type of seasonality that comes out in here. So overall we can see, and don't forget also next Thursday, which is the 16th, I'll be doing talk with Rakuten here. You can check it out, me as one of the speakers in Smart Robie. So you can also get the Rakuten trade points if you are a Rakuten customer in here. You can also check out the live FB on the Rakuten site in here on the 16th of March. So make sure you check me out when I'll be there for the short talk. So for those of you, all right, and let's take a look at the others. Okay, what are the so-called green pentagon? Oh, Hata has turned green pentagon. That's pretty interesting, right? Take a look at it. But a lot of the time when it turned in green pentagon, there's a lot of kind of selling in here, right? But let's take a look at the insider buying in here. Okay, insider buying. So this month, March, it's up 7%. Maybe you can see a little bit of track back. That's a lot of call to sell here. You can see. Well, that's a lot. Never seen anything like that before. Sell, 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 sell. Ho. So the rationale behind it, if you do see a lot of people calling to sell, which means the market bottom is already there, right? And no surprises why, we do see what we have green pentagon yesterday, and it'll be interesting to see if this market can lift a bit higher in here. And this is pretty dramatic. You can see from a 10,000 in here, show me the money mean 10,000 ringgit invested from January 2006 to March 2020, yield only 5,000 because it's gone straight up and then fall all the way down in here. All right, so Hata Lega optimistic about long-term prospect. Book net loss of 30 million by hit by glove overview, which is last month in here. Net loss of softening demand here, right? So that's the situation that we are seeing right now with Hata, and you can see also in comparison Hata versus the in here, because it make a loss, so it's only it had a net tangible asset as well as the dividend, right? Other than that, the return on equity is negative because it actually lost money in here, and PE has also turned negative too, from being in that, right? You can see PE, so it's a loss-making company in here, but it's still holding, and we are quite optimistic, just like in longer term this stock will make. But that's interesting to know. KLK has turned red. AMD, that's a US stock. Media has turned UWC. previously was Green Pentagon. Then Merck had turned. So a lot of the property, Transparent CJ, Home REITs. This is a consumer. These are earlier on. Sedania. And this is part of the RHP Jewel watch list. Alright. So let's take a look at this one here. It's only 50 cents, and it does pay a 14% dividend, rated a 7, right? So this is interesting to see, but the market has been really coming down a fair bit, even with a very low PE, with a good ROE in here. Market is just not giving the kind of valuation that it should. But at this base, getting a 14% dividend, maybe with a one-off pay, maybe sounds pretty good, but assuming it can go up to 9 months here, this is pretty much at the base support here, around 50 cents. So those of you who is longing for some sort of dividend in here and a lot of upside, I think Home REITs, which is a property, not a property, this is wood furniture producer in here, pays good dividend, long-term stock, and it's actually a growth stock too, right? But just that the price are not going in there. Okay, only fourth quarter surge by revenue by stronger dollar. That was last year in here. Just that no one is paying the kind of attention in here, and it is one of those stocks. Sedania P. So check it out if you are not. If not, you can always get hold of our VSA 360 free trial to India. In terms of alert, I haven't set much of alert, so that's in there. Okay, let's get back to our main dashboard. All right, and some of our past in here, you have a pickup Radco, Yinhen, that's also 26. And remember Yinhen last week, we have some insider buying, which we'll take a look at after this in here. All right, in all respective, today market is down minus 9.75% in here. Now, this is where we are, and I do think that the KLCI is ready to test lower at the 1420, right? As you can see, we have a red pentagon in here. Volumes are kind of average, so that means the trend is likely to continue downwards until we see some massive volume coming in. That's a surge that would shake out many of the trader in here, and then the market can rebound back. Other than that, you gotta look out for the green pentagon, but after you see a little bit of sign of strength coming in here. Now this is KLCI. You can see it's really moving in a nice downtrend. The red pentagon earlier on was marked up in here, and it's really showing that this is actually trending now. The railway track has opened up, and it is a stage 4 marked down the concern of the US interest rate hike, which is actually putting a lot of pressure on this market. Now on the KLCI future side, using the trading view with the VSA market stages indicator, you can see pretty much a same picture painting in, but one observation is that the market is soon to rebound. If you look back on the last cycle when it was down, that was sometime in end August all the way to November, which is about 29 bars or 45 days, which is 1.5 months. Right now we have been down for 39 days, so we still got another maybe another 9 more days, another week of down, and we'll see. All right, that means the market may trend back down and retest back the 1420, and then we might see a bit of sign of strength. And usually this kind is pretty a good diagnosis way to see eventually how the market will hold up and how it's likely to rebound from in here. Right now, if you have any questions or any stocks you want to look at, just pencil those in. I'm happy to go through them. So another next week, I think end of next week, next Friday, we do see this market will likely to rebound back. But other than that, expect downside to go. And this is pretty good one. You can see the yellow trend zone and the yellow trend zone. They usually do turn very nicely here. Right now on the Pentagon Guider last week, right, we have only very few candidates, and remember 3rd of March was still pretty much a down market in here. We have TechCam was up 8.75%. You can see from here. So that's once you make this kind of run, you generally don't want to move it, because this is what smart money does, is actually to have one bar push up in a single 15-minute chart, push it up in here, and then start to distribute in here. GHL was the only candidate at that time, but on the backdrop of the market, it actually turned up trust. Okay, on the end of the day, if it does turn up trust the following day, it's going to just move sideways and not have much of a thing. You could have got it back up on the subsequent bar here in here, but overall you may end up with a losing trade. Even there is very few options, and the option that you have, right, may not turn to be very successful. You need to have more options, and from then once you try to cipher it. But if you look on the backdrop of it, GHL is actually a technology stock related to e-commerce in here, and pretty much been holding up around the 91 cents here, 95 cents, and I think that is 96 cents where people will actually take profit. Right, let's take a look. This morning in here, we don't have any candidates at all. That is how the situation is. The market will range next week when we do our BSA 360 breakfast show. We will be looking at something else in here. But let's move on to something more positive, which is the insider buying and selling, which still works in the context of the Malaysian market, this is partly because when insider buying, they usually buy with wholesale and sort of round up all the shares in here, and they have pretty much the control of the volume in here. Right, just like what Peter Lynch said, insider might sell shares for many reasons, but when they do buy, they will rise, right? And due to the studies that was done by university, a local academic, you can make abnormal return in here. And our VSA insider will have all the call to buy, call to sell, and also transfer. Look at some of the power of CY Park. You can see long period accumulation before they make the big up move, right? And then same thing with also with Toyo, right? A big up move eventually after the accumulation, which is about 58% in here. So look who's buying in now. Now last week we had Pelican, right? We did say third on here we can see signs of buying. So let's take a look at Pelican right now. Okay. Hit that one. Oh, okay. I think having access issue right now. Try one more time. Okay. So it's 4 out of 8, not too bad. So let's wait for this the server to come here. All right. So you can see last week our charts was actually here, right, in this bar. So here we have market continue to move up, interestingly, right? So this is in respective why we talk about insider buying, still give some sort of hope, especially those of you who like to follow insider buying, that this market has some sort of potential to go for. That's pretty good, and looks like that. But not all shares, remember, not all shares will go through something like this. Just remember Chin Hin, right? We have a big sell-off, but then the owner also came back, and that we talked about that last week, right? You can see, let's go to Chin Hin. These are insider buying here. So we can see the big sell-off that we have here, right? But eventually there were also insider buying by the owner, I believe. We just have to wait for the chart to come out first. All right, there you go. You can see lots of buying in here, right? Lots of buying, and usually when they buy it a lot, let's check it out in here. We have 235,900, 900. Oh, it looks like it's a whole gang of everybody buying that. So if I have this, which I do, I'm likely to hold on. You can see so much of the smart money buying in here, 1.7 million. So this is something could be engineered by the big sell-off, then they go in and buy some more in here. Interesting to know, right? So you learn something tonight, and it's important that one of these chart like the VSA 360 with insider buying out. Now this was Chin Hin. We just talked about this in here, and many reasons why this thing can go higher. Now let's take a look on HH Group, which have a buy last week. All right, HH Group. So you can see, let's move this thing up on top of me here. You can see. So HH Group also still holding up at this level after that one buy in here. It did go higher, up a couple of percentage in here, started to move back down. But it's still range finding, and volumes are pretty low. Maybe we have something like Chin Hin where it will continue to buy a few more, then this is going to be looking good. Okay, so that's this HH Group. Now for this week, some of the stocks we'll be studying for demonstration in here of the insider buying will be PRG. All right, now we know this PRG has a couple of sessions of insider selling. Excuse me. All right, so we're still waiting for HH Group here. All right, there you go. So you can see from HH Group, we have selling and selling. So after this selling here, that's a 50K, 100K, 100K. So not much, but been here is where the buying 300k. Dato Maslan, so is selling right now. So with this kind of selling in here, what do you think? Do you think next week is likely to go higher or it's going to come back down again? Let me know and put your comment below in there. So this is what we want to see, the insider selling and buying for this kind of stock in here. All right. Next we have is NGGB, which is very similar. You can see from on my chart here, lots of buying and lots of transfer, lots of internal happening in here, and even at this top, this will be buying. So this is another good case study to study NGGB if next week it's going to go higher. So keep this in mind. This is around let's take a look at this stock NGGB and know what they do. You can also use the smart Robie apps. NGGB, oh, it's a lot of green, next generation, all this climate change. All right, it's I need to hit this. Yeah, let me hit it again. So here we are looking for the stocks to come back to us. Okay, looks like it's will take a bit of time. Okay, I think the server is taking very busy right now. Yep, now we got it back here, and this is NGGB. So what they do is they do their number 1 out of 41 industrial main board Sharia, and it's a growth stock, number 23. Okay, and let's take a look at the website here, which is right at the bottom under the who we are. They are printing. Okay, website offset binding, sheet feed or serve customer in here. Company website, you need to click on it to go to it, but that's pretty good. Give me they do books. I'm kind of surprised though they can actually do well for books. So let's take a look at the yearly return. Wow, 121%. This is definitely some kind of smart money. But this year, last year was down 30%. So NGGB, as you can see in here, let's take a look. 1.2 million. Dato Lim Tiam Huat. Okay, who is this guy? Click on that one, and that should take you to the. He's a managing construction development, 28 years. Right, next gen. Are they construction or are they into book? Compensation in here, so you can investigate further and find out more. And let's take a look also, Miss Lim Kai Yen, this could be maybe the daughter. All right, and there was some transfer here. You can see there's a little bit of selling, just 930k, another Dato sold, and here is another 2.8 million he sold. Dato Lim, he buy back 1.2 million. And then he sold it to just provide some sort of liquidity. So this may give me an idea that this market can go. I know some of you may not be able to see it. Let me just put it up here again. Miss Lim Kai Yen, and you can see he sold it at 2.8 million on this day, right? And this stock, right, today is down 1.83%. All right, now you have to be very careful too, because this could be the classic distribution, but I do think that at this point this market is likely to come down before we go up, but that's going to give you a good view, understanding VSA and also the insider buying and selling. So next week we'll be checking out this in here. So what do you think? Is it going to go up or go down for NGGB? All right, now of course our VSA 360 has always been focused on our members, our orientation, which we started in March in here. And for those of you who still want to find out more about the VSA, do join our next workshop that we're doing 21st, Monday, Tuesday, 8 to 10:30. We are doing it online, harnessing the power, and will be done by my senior trainer Zach Lim in here. All right, and of course our usual 10-day free trial is still on, so you can check out the course itself and also the 10-day free trial. That will simply give you more work. And if you're ready, go ahead and sign up on the on our pricing website in here, where you can get the price and also great reviews from our member in here. Now of course right now we'll be looking at a couple of stocks. If I do get them, usually I will let me know, and we are can quickly go through some of the stocks if you have me there. But usually the story behind it in many of the stocks will actually turn red pentagon. Then you need to do is to make the necessary exit. Okay, we got Steven here with okay, sure, let's take a look. Okay, with capital A, which is Air Asia. So Air Asia looks pretty good. It's turning green pentagon. So if you have got in, this will be a good level at 77 cents. And also that's a pretty strong on the backdrop of 88 cents. Okay. So remember there's a target 88, 90, 88, 67, 88, 90. So 90 cents will be around that level if you're trading it. So right now I think this is a good stock. You can see it's still moving up in here. That was a good in here as the news of more of the market reopening. This simply will be a good stock to be trading. It is still a PN17 stock. Just keep that in mind, right? Keep that in mind. All right, so that's we got PBB for Kelvin. Okay, so this is something that it's good for you to have. The PBB is public bank, I would think. All right, Kevin. So public bank is an institutional stock. You can see here there was a call to hold, a lot of call to buy, call to 510, 490, 490. This stocks for public bank, I think with the interest rate being hold, it's likely just going to move sideways. It's not going to go up that much. It is a dividend play, which does give you a 4% dividend, just giving it a 1 rating because the PE, it's pretty good for a banking stock in here. But the ROE is simply lacking, which is a lot of banks are really struggling to find that. So this is the one in here. Check out, a lot of these are EPF stock. All right, thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Stephen, for your stocks for review in here. That's all the time we have, and check us out on our YouTube and make sure you subscribe it, and don't forget to also go to our Telegram chat room and share with your friends to get the latest update in here. I'll be back next week for the breakfast show, and also join me on the Rakuten talk. Thank you. That's all. Bye bye.